Hello, everyone. You're welcome to another exciting, interesting, enlightening, and informative episode on the Amagate Radio Communications Program. My name is Adikweju Jayoba, and together we have been exploring and considering the topic Reconnecting Work Generations through organizational culture. I am so glad and excited that you were here, and I can assure you that you're going to learn so much that would upscale your business processes and would increase productivity in your organization. So thank you for joining me on this episode. Since we began this journey, we have considered the impact of organizational culture on a widely misunderstood, widely dispersed, highly creative, and very dynamic generation that is gradually permeating the workspace and becoming the predominant generation in the workplace. I'm referring to the millennials and the Gen Zs. And the millennials are persons or people that were born between 1981 to 1996. And the Gen Zs are persons born between the years 1997 to 2010. And one of the things that we must know about these younger generations is that they come across as loud, they come across sometimes as rude, as disobedient, they want to question everything, they're very curious, they're very adventurous, they want to do things outside the box. And sometimes, they come across to business leaders as weird. But because they're slowly becoming the predominant generation in the workplace, it is imperative and important that business leaders and business managers begin to understand the younger generations and begin to look for ways by which they can maximize, engage, and retain them in the workplace. And one of the very instrumental tools that we've been considering that can help business managers to integrate these younger generations into the workplace is organizational culture. We've also seen together that organizational culture is the system of shared values, assumptions, expectations, philosophies, experience, perception, or beliefs which govern how people or how employees behave within an organization. In simple terms, it is that unique, integral, intrinsic, or natural way of doing things in an organization, which in turn becomes that organization's unique identity, personality, or brand. Just the same way it is natural for dogs to bark and it is associated with dogs. The moment you hear barking, you're not thinking of a goat. What comes to mind immediately is a dog. That is how the culture of an organization is. It is that unique trait that stands an organization out and differentiates it from one organization to another. Another thing we have considered since we started exploring this topic is that we have looked at the characteristics of organizational culture. While the list is not limited to these, we have seen 7 characteristics by which organizational culture can connect different generations at work. And these characteristics include innovation, attention to detail, emphasis on outcome, emphasis on people, teamwork, aggressiveness, and stability. So far, we have touched on 4 of these characteristics, and I would love us to go over them again to refresh our memory. The first is innovation, and innovation talks about the creativity, the ingenuity, and the ability of people in an organization to come up with new or novel ideas or to proffer solutions, particularly one that is out of the box. It is out of the regular business practices or processes, something that brings about newness, a new way of doing things in the organization. That is innovation. And one of the things we considered is that organizations that have a culture that is high on innovation would attract the younger generation, because the younger generation love creativity. They love new things. They want to explore new software, new technology, new ways of doing things. And so if your organization has a culture that places a high value on innovation, you're going to attract and retain the younger generation. The next characteristics we looked at is stability. And stability refers to the ability of an organization to be constant, stable, steady, and unchanging, irrespective of disruptive forces around it. And one of the things we considered under stability is that organizations that place a high value on stability do things by the books. They follow proven factual processes that gives them expected desired outcomes. It is a typical 1 + 1 = 2 kind of system. We know this has been proven, we know this has worked over the years, and then we follow this kind of processes. And organizations that place a high value on stability will be bureaucratic in nature, but then they'll be stable over the long haul. They get predictable desired outcomes at the end of the day. Then the next characteristics we looked at is emphasis on outcome, and this talks about the achievement oriented culture. And this kind of culture focuses on the performance of employees or teams in the organization, and it highly values results and the achievement of set goals and objectives. And this is something that attracts the younger generation, because the younger generations are the goal setting and go-getters kind of generation. They want to get things done. They want to test their limits. They want to break boundaries and do more. And so organizations that place a high value on outcomes would attract the younger generations, because it sets an environment where they can test their skills, their abilities, and their unique gift to achieve set down goals and objectives. And then the last characteristics we have seen so far is emphasis on people. And emphasis on people is that culture that focuses on valuing, supporting, and empowering the people of the organization, such that the atmosphere, the processes, and policies of the organization favor the employees. And this is very important. As much as, employees want to get work done and achieve, awesome goals, they also want to feel at home in the organization. They want the atmosphere to be fun, to be loving, to be warm. They want to feel recognized. They want to feel valued and feel important. And I believe that this is a beautiful characteristics for any organization to implement in their culture, such that people look forward to resuming at work. That is so important. And so those are the 4 characteristics we have seen so far. This week, we'll be exploring 2 new characteristics that can make up the culture of your organization. They are teamwork and aggressiveness. I'll take that again. Have teamwork and aggressiveness. So let's get right into it. When you hear of the word teamwork, a lot of things come to mind. And there are certain African quotes that I love that puts perspective, or that gives a beautiful definition to the word teamwork. In Ghana, for example, they say a single bracelet does not jingle. Can you think about that? A single bracelet does not jingle. In Kenya, they say that if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you go with others. Wow. Tanzanians have a saying that a single stick might smoke, but it will not burn. Wow. Awesome. While in Nigeria, there's a saying that it takes an entire village to raise a child. They also have another saying that it is the working together of all the fingers on the hand that gets the hand clean. Now, from all these quotes, we can see that teamwork or working together gets the job done faster, better, and in a more effective way. It means that every organization, irrespective of how intelligent or smart or witty or dexterous its leaders might be, there are many components and systems that make up the success of an organization. And these systems and parts and components in an organization are run by people. They are run by the employees. And so it takes teamwork to achieve success in an organization. Just like the human body, we have numerous and diverse cells, tissues, organs, and systems doing various functions carrying out various operations, but all coming together to ensure that the body is healthy. We have the digestive system doing something very different from the circulatory system, doing something very different from the nervous system, but all this coming together to ensure that the whole organism is fine. Or just like a well-oiled machine with many parts or gears, teamwork involves everyone in the organization supplying their different parts to enhance performance and achieve productivity. So when we talk about teamwork in the workplace, what does it really mean? Teamwork is when a group of individuals work together toward a collective goal in an efficient manner. It is the working together of a group of individuals to achieve a common goal in an efficient and effective manner. So companies, organizations that, place a high value on teamwork would create work activities or create responsibilities, tasks, or processes in the organization to revolve around teams rather than individuals, meaning that they will create work roles that allows people to work together. Building a team involves bringing people together. That is, when we are building a team. But teamwork allows these people, these individuals, to provide and to use their different abilities, values, skills, beliefs to accomplish something they may not be able to do alone. Have you ever tried to sweep a house with just one stick of broom? How easy do you think it would be? But when you bring so many strands of the broomstick together, what do you have? You have a bunch. And can it get the work done? Yes, faster and in a more efficient manner. And that is what teamwork is. So companies with team-oriented cultures, are collaborative in nature. They emphasize cooperation. They emphasize, unity in the organization amongst employees because they desire that employees will supply their part to achieve the common goal. And then employees who work for this type of companies tend to have a positive relationship with their co-managers, their supervisors, and their managers. Teamwork is very important and is a very valuable tool to use in the workplace, and it comes with a lot of benefits. It encourages problem-solving skills, it brings the team together, it creates clear communication. Businesses and organizations that, utilize teamwork, especially when a major project is at hand, would always achieve those projects. And like the popular acronym TEAM, together each achieves more. So teamwork is a culture that I believe every organization should implement, particularly if you want to engage and retain the younger generations. So go through some benefits of teamwork or collaboration to your organization. The first is it creates a work atmosphere that is stress-free and that is relaxed. Very true. When people have the support of other persons, they can do their work efficiently. Also, when employees in the organization are not overburdened with so much work, when the work is dispersed across the teams or across groups, people are more relaxed, and then it reduces stress, it reduces burnout, and it reduces fatigue. And so teamwork encourages an atmosphere that is stress-free. Another thing that teamwork does is that it fosters open and effective communication. When there is strong collaboration in an organization, people can relate and communicate with each other freely. There's, a good relationship, positive relationship that is built between team members and is also built between the team members and their managers. So it fosters effective communication. It also allows for innovation and creativity. When everyone is supplying their part, bringing different ideas and different strategy, what you get is innovation and creativity, because everybody is thinking of what they can supply. They're thinking of what they can bring to the table. Unlike projects that is run by one man, that project is limited to the idea of that one man. But when a project is open or brought to a team of 10 persons, that project is open to 10 different ideas, 10 different ways of doing things, 10 different processes. I mean, so much innovation and creativity is born in teamwork. Another thing teamwork does is that it enhances decision making. Very correct. Taking decision as a one-man army can be very difficult. Doubt and anxiety might plague you. You might think, am I making the right decision? Should I do this way? Or should I do it the other way? But when employees are in a team, they can quickly agree on the best fit practice to achieve a set down goal, and that fosters and facilitates decision making in the organization. Another thing that teamwork does is that it helps to build trust. Very correct. As people work together and collaborate together, they start to trust each other and they begin to depend on one another, trusting that my colleagues or my counterparts have my back. So teamwork builds trust. And then teamwork creates opportunity for employee engagement and personal development. As employees are involved in projects or involved in achieving a particular vision, they get better at doing their job, compared to if the project is probably given to one person and the others are redundant. It means only one person gets to develop while the others remain on the same level. But when a project or a vision or a goal is given to an entire team, everyone gets to supply their part and they get to develop in their strengths, they get to develop in their skills or their giftings. And so teamwork encourages employee engagement and personal development, and in turn it allows for high productivity and efficiency. So teamwork or the collaborative oriented culture is very important to any organization. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll look at the second characteristics that makes up a culture in an organization. You're welcome back. If you're just joining us, my name is Adepeju Jayoba, and we're looking at reconnecting work generations through organizational culture. And we just considered teamwork or collaborative orientation as the characteristics that can make up the culture in your organization. The second one we'll be looking at today is aggressiveness or competitive orientation. So what does competition or competitiveness mean? It refers to the character that holds the desire to be better than someone else, or to supersede your previous achievements, or to be the best in your given sphere or niche or industry. In the organizational context, competitiveness can be defined as the ability of an organization, a company or a firm to offer products of higher value at equal or lower cost, to offer products or services of higher value at equal or lower cost in relation to its competitors, and to build competitive positions that enable superior economic performance. Competitiveness also refers to that competence of an organization to produce and sell products or services that not only meets the quality or the standard of the market, but at the same time offers value to the customers and maximize returns on the resources that are consumed in producing them. Simply put, aggressiveness or competitiveness in an organization refers to the advantage that organization has in the marketplace over other organizations. A very good example is the global company Coca-Cola. When you think of carbonated drinks and you're thinking of taking a cola drink, it is very possible that the first drink that comes to mind is Coca-Cola or Pepsi, because these brands have stood themselves out in what they offer. They offer value, they offer good price, they offer satisfaction to their customers. And so you would say that those organizations are competitive in the soft drink industry. And so that is competitiveness or aggressiveness. It talks about the advantage your organization has. And when your organizations that place high value on competitiveness or aggressiveness will tell themselves they want to compete in the marketplace, against their competitors, and they're assertive in going for their goals because they want to ensure that they hit their target, they get more clients, they stand out, and they are the best at what they do. And so they are assertive. Organizations that don't place a high value on competitiveness or are low on aggressiveness are somewhat laid back. They tell themselves, oh, we'll achieve our goals, but we are not out to get anyone's throats. We don't necessarily want to be the best. We want to be great at what we do, but not necessarily be the best, not necessarily stand out. We just want to make sure that our clients, our customers are satisfied and they're happy with our products or our services. And so you can say that having, either a high or low value for aggressiveness or competitiveness in an organization can affect or determine the way organizations respond to competitors or respond to their competition. And aggressiveness and competitiveness is a very important tool to have in any organization in today's fast-paced, ever-evolving and dynamic world, because new organizations are springing up, new businesses are springing up. The same persons who liked a particular product yesterday might not like that product today. And so it's important that organizations strive to be the best at what they do if they want to stay relevant in their given sphere or industry. And this is important because employees, particularly the younger generations, want to identify with organizations that are doing well. Every one of us want to work with the top 4 in the audit firm, PwC, KPMG. People will want to work with those kind of organizations compared to an audit company that has no name. We want to be, we want to work with top financial institutions. We want to work with Google. We want to work with Apple. We want to work with, the juggernauts in the technology or the software space. Everyone wants to identify with the guys who are top of the league. And so if you want your organization to be the kind of organization that the younger generation would love to work and stay and identify with, then it means your organization must have a good measure of competitiveness in your culture. If any organization is going to stay afloat and maximize the best of these times, then a form of aggressiveness must be in your culture. Even within your organization, do you know that a competitive environment can boost productivity, it can encourage innovation, and it can enhance overall corporate performance? When employees know that their colleagues are aiming for success, or they know that my fellow colleagues are, aiming to be the best, probably there will be an award, some form of recognition, increase in salary, promotion, or a bonus, some form of reward or, compensation mechanism put in place. It serves as motivation to do work. So competition, even within the workplace, within the employees in your organization, encourages productivity, innovation, creativity, and it serves as motivation. Increased productivity, better quality output, increased performance can come from a competitive work atmosphere. However, it will be good to also note at this point that aggressiveness or competitiveness must be done within the borders of ethical practices. Organizations that only emphasize competitiveness without emphasizing fairness, and we looked at that last week, that's emphasis on people, or that does not emphasize on teamwork, collaboration, working with other people, can push the employees to begin to do things that are outside ethical or standard practices. And what that might, inform is that it can lead to unhealthy rivalry. It can stir up conflict within the organization. It can also garner a bad reputation for that organization, and that organization may fall short in the area of corporate social responsibility. Also, competitiveness must not be used as a tool of fear by business leaders or managers. I'll say that again. It must not be used as a tool of fear. Competitiveness must not be placed before employees to drive them to do work. It must be used as a motivation technique, not as a fear technique. Because if it is used as a motivation technique, what you get from your employees is excitement. Let me give a very good example. If you tell your employees, we have the target to get 1,000 new clients to patronize our organization, and the team or the employee who brings in 100 new clients gets a 20% increase in their salary. Woo! Everyone is excited. People are motivated to work. But when you bring it from the standpoint of we must get 1,000 clients, everybody must do this. If you don't bring in 100 new clients, half of your salary will be choked. Now, that is competitiveness in a sort of way, but then that is bringing in the fear factor, and that can increase anxiety, that can increase fear, and that can actually demotivate your employees. And the last thing you want is you don't want demotivated employees on your hands in the organization. So you must ensure that while you're trying to stir up motivation and innovation and healthy competition amongst your employees, it must be done from the standpoint of encouragement, motivation, and support, and not from the standpoint of fear and oppression. Employees must know that they are free to do their work. They are free to strive to achieve the goal. And even when they fall short, they don't feel afraid to come up and say, oh, I fell short of achieving this target. That is very, very important. Because if fear and anxiety increases in the organization, it can lead to a high turnover rate, in which I believe no business leader or business manager wants. So competitiveness or aggressiveness is good for any organization, but it must be done within ethical standards and boundaries, and it must also be used as a motivational tool and not as a tool of fear or oppression. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode, and I hope you learned something that will be instrumental to the progress and productivity of your organization. For questions, comments, and feedback, you can reach out to us via www.theamogate.org. You can also follow us on our social media handles on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. We would love to connect with you. You can also check out our other programs and recordings on the Mixlr page, Amogate Radio Communications, and I'm sure you would get wonderful, enlightening tips that can help increase productivity in your organization. Thank you so much once again for joining me on this episode. Until I come your way next week, keep being good, keep being amazing, and keep upscaling in your business. Bye for now.